A bottle of...
Oh, shit. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness.
Where the hell is the fucking Hall of Fame?
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness.
How dare you say such things about a widow?
Did she eat the corpse?
Right. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your head and let it flow into me. I can see inside you the sickness is rising.
I think he's some kind of darky.
Seems that all that was good has died.
He living up my coattails.
Oh no, the world is a scary place.
Quiet down on the Christmas show, for fuck's sake!
Now that you've woken up the demon in me.
Whose idea was this?
Quiet up! Come on, get down with the sickness. Mother, get up. Come on, get down with the sickness. You
Sit on my face.
fucker, get up. Come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your head and let it flow into me. Why can't you just fuck up and die? Get down with the sickness.
That's it, you.
I can't believe this shit. I'm down with the sickness. It's coincidence. You can feel the fucking heart. Get down with the sickness.
Speak out.
Here it comes. Get ready to die. Get ready to fuckers.
Die.
Don't know if I have the energy for a long program tonight, since I'm going to have to do it solo again. Vince has still not found his keys. I don't know where they're at.
I fell down on my knees.
Just kidding, everybody. I'm here. oh, what a rib we have pulled. We fooled all those people.
Speaking of fools,
I'm a fool.
go ahead.
Well, we'll start at the beginning. I went for a run Monday afternoon, and thought, boy, I don't want to have all these keys dangling in my pocket while I run for an hour. I'm just going to take my car key off, leave the rest of the keys in my car, and I'll be good to go. So I went for my run, started to rain. I was soaked by the time I got back to my car. I drove home. I grabbed my stuff, ran upstairs to my apartment, opened the door, walked in the bedroom, threw everything on my bed. I immediately noticed, hey, my car key is not there. I must have left it in the car. I will go worry about it later. Later rolled around. It came time to leave and come over here Monday night. No key. To make a long story short, I tore apart. There was only 3 places it could have been. It could have been in the kitchen, it could have been in my bedroom, or it could have been in the car. I tore all 3 of these places apart, top to bottom, multiple times over and over. I went through all the garbage cans in the house. I went through my laundry hamper like 4 times, wondering if I had thrown it in there, if it had fallen somewhere. I cleaned out my car, which it needed doing anyway, so on the plus side I got that done. But there was no key to be found, and by the end of the night, I just said, you know what? I don't know where it is, and I don't care anymore. And I just needed to get a new key. And so the next day, I'm not making any of this up, I walked to the dealership, 4.5 miles. I walked there and said, I need a new key. They said, did you bring your registration? I said, yes.
Was it 4.5 miles uphill both ways, just out of curiosity?
No, it's 4.5. I actually went home and Googled it. It was 4.5 miles.
All right.
It was uphill and then downhill both ways, to be precise. So, they said, bring your registration and license, and I did. It cost me $7 and took them 5 minutes. They handed me a new key. And then, thankfully, my cousin's a mechanic there who happened to be going on a break, and he gave me a ride home. And he dropped me off and said, make sure your key works. I said, okay. And I tried my new key, and it started right away. And I thought, hey, great, my car works. I should mention, for those of you confused, I had the electronic keyless entry deal, so I could get into and out of the car. I just couldn't start it or move it anywhere. So anyway, I had a new key worked, and I thought, great. And I waited goodbye to my cousin. He began to drive away. Then I heard someone say, excuse me. I turned around, and there was a man there I did not know. He said, are you looking for a key? I said, well, not anymore. He said, well, we found this. And he held up a key, which was my key. Now, I tried to ask this guy where he found it, and he couldn't really say. He said, well, I think it was up against the curb, or maybe in some leaves. So I said, well, when did you find it? He said, sometime in the past couple of days. And I thought to myself, wow, it's been missing less than 24 hours. Barely more than 12. But I merely said thank you. I took my key back. So because of my own dumbness in A, dropping the key, and then B, not being able to find it because it was against the curb or in some leaves, I was out 7 hours of watching wrestling. $40 I paid for the pay-per-view. My Monday evening was ruined because all I did was look for this key I couldn't find. My Tuesday day was ruined because I had to go into town to get these keys. And, yes, all of that because I'm dumb.
So you suffered.
I suffered. I suffered far more than you did, I think.
Oh, I don't know. That was a grueling hour and a half.
I don't doubt that it sucked, but for me it was a grueling
Luckily, I
2
had callers.
days, really.
I had callers to try and make the time fly by a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
But
I actually did try to call in, and it was always busy, so you certainly had plenty of callers.
talking for an hour and a half is not easy by yourself.
I did it on Saturday.
What?
The sports show.
Get callers the whole time.
I see.
That's a break at least.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy.
Didn't you have callers too?
Yeah, I did. That's what I said. It's not easy to talk by yourself for an hour and a half.
Well, there you go then.
Besides, you were out of steam after that hour and a half anyway on Saturday.
I was drained, that's true.
You were completely out of steam.
I was gassed.
Did you actually watch Ultimate Fighter this week?
Not only, Bryan, did I watch Ultimate Fighter this week, but I watched both of the episodes I had missed.
Really?
I watched the season opener. In fact, there was a replay of it at some point this weekend, and then they replayed the Wednesday night episode we did not watch because of the Comcast fuck-up.
I didn't even watch that one.
Well, see,
I didn't bother.
I am better than you this week.
No, I saw Bader. I saw the fight last week. I didn't need to watch the rest of the show.
You actually missed the best part then.
What was the best part?
Best part was
Junie
being a madman. a literal madman on par with perhaps Osama bin Laden.
Was it better than the madman that he was on this show?
I actually watched them back to back, so my memory's a little hazy. Which one did he get in the fight in the pool? Was that this show?
That was this show.
Okay. He was a madman on both shows.
He's been a madman on every show.
I'm checking my notes here to see what he did nutting the first one. He immediately decided that it's funny on this show, guys always immediately get affiliation with the guys who are wearing the same color jerseys, even though they never met before that day. Junie took that to the 100th degree and wanted to fight all the red jersey guys immediately. And several people actually said he was going to be worse than Chris Lieben, because their exact words.
Well, he already is.
Yes, by far. by far. Junie hinted that he was in fact playing mind games with everybody, that he wanted them to think he was a fuck-up, but then he would kill them in the cage. But I think he's also just a fuck-up, and then he may in fact kill them in the cage. So there was that. Let's see here.
Junie is too big a goddamn idiot to last this season.
Yes.
Like, I just cannot fathom him making the entire season.
Dude.
And if he does, he makes a mockery of Dana White.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll talk, I guess that was the peak of the Junieism on this show. We'll get to more Junie in the next show we'll talk about. But I'm convinced that in Junie's future, there will be a violent death. I don't know if he will cause it. I don't know if he will receive it. But either he's going to kill someone, or he's going to piss someone off so badly they just shoot him.
Wow.
There's no doubt in my mind there is a manslaughter or murder in this guy's future, one way or the other.
He's a dumb man. And I hope he's not listening, because he'll want to beat me up. And in fact, I'm wearing a red shirt right now.
That's true.
Like a matador. I'm just waiting for Junie to try and gore me. This fucking guy is crazed. And he was crazed on the show that we watched this week. He got in a big fight. Dudes ended up in the pool, which I'm, of course, always a big fan of. And then, of course, after Dana came and told him he was a fucking retard, I believe were his exact words.
And then he turned to Shane Spencer and said, "You're a drunken retard, too."
That's right. He called them both drunken fucking retards and told them to knock it off. He wasn't going to kick them off the show. They were going to get a second chance. And he basically said, "I don't know why I'm doing this. They make me look like a fool." And at the end of the show, they, in fact, did make him look somewhat like a fool, as the big fight on the show was Efren, who is the Rey Mysterio lookalike, and he was facing, I think it was the guy's name.
Shane Nelson.
Shane.
Who was the other drunken retard.
He was the partner in crime of Junie, and they need a third man to become a faction. I firmly believe this. So
drunken retards?
It was, sure.
Team DR?
Yeah, so it was Shane and Efren was the fight, and they both talked a lot of shit, and Shane essentially said, this man, he's not going to knock me out. He's not going to submit me. if he wins, it'll be because he lays and prays on me for 2 rounds and gets a decision. And to cut to the chase, he was wrong. He was wrong.
He was wrong at the end.
Well, he was wrong. He talked about what a great submission whiz he was, and
that's true.
Efren took him down, and he was down on his back for at least 5 minutes, didn't get a single submission, and they fought, and then near the end of the second round, Efren got him in a triangle from the mount, and fast-talking Shane tapped the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
So, sucks to be you. And this made Junie so angry that he exploded into anger, scaled the octagon, and had to be held back by a bunch of geeks, half of whom were laughing at the idiocy of this man. And I guess it all leads to next week when we find out, did this man get kicked off the show? I guess we shall see.
So to review, in what seemed like a 24-hour time span, I guess theoretically it could have been 48, but this guy, Junie, got drunk, tried to pick a fight with everyone in the house, fell into the pool several times, pulled a guy into the pool, literally, at one point, tried to fight everyone. He was just throwing random elbows and kicks before they finally calmed him down. Then he began to sob openly. Then the next day, Dana came over, called him a drunken retard and a fucking retard, and told him he was giving him a second chance and didn't know why. Then, I believe, the morning of the fight, or perhaps later that night, I'm not sure, but Junie was speaking to Efren, who his friend's opponent the next day, talking shit to him, saying that the only way he would win was by having a boring fight, which is almost true. Then he talked about how they had rolled one time and Efren had tapped him out. And then Junie flew off the handle, called him just a college wrestler, saying he was only wrestling, he wasn't really fighting, and if they were having a real fight with punches, he would never get taken down. He tried to get Efren to swing at him, and I thought to myself, you almost got kicked out of that house like 24 hours ago, and now you're picking fights again. You're amazing. You're an amazing human. And then by the end of the show, he was furious that his friend had lost. And then, by the way, had been beaten cleanly. When they showed a clip of him flipping out, or they showed a clip of him diving over the cage, I assumed it was a close decision or something. No. His friend got put in a submission and tapped out.
And what did Junie say? He said, just what we need, another boring-ass wrestler in the UFC.
Yes.
Who was the fucking boring-ass guy in this fight? Wasn't Efren.
Well, Efren was boring for the first, 7 minutes or so.
He at least got a submission.
He somewhat redeemed. It was 7 minutes of boredom followed by a really cool submission win.
Okay, what did Shane do that was exciting, though?
Nothing. All right, well, if you put it that way, I can see your point. He was also boring and also shitty. So, yeah, and then he dove over the cage. All I could think was, this man, I can't even say he needs to be incarcerated. This man needs to be aborted. I do not want to live on a planet with humans like him.
Listen, the thing here is, moderation is the key. Junie is too stupid to figure this out. Yes, when you're a crazed madman like Junie, you get a lot of TV time, you make a name for yourself. I know Junie's name. I don't know anybody else's name on this show, except maybe Shane. Oh, and Christoph Szynski. But anyway, the point is, I know Junie's name. And that's great. But unfortunately, he's so fucking dumb that he's destined to just be ruined. And unfortunately, that means that I won't be entertained on every show this season, because this fucker may get kicked off next week. That makes me sad. So, listen, all of you aspiring Ultimate Fighters, yes, being a little crazy is good TV. When you're this crazy that you aren't even going to be on TV, then I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
When you are throwing glasses at your housemates, which we didn't even discuss, he threw a glass at a guy, unfortunately it was only which shattered.
Cut him open.
Unfortunately it was only a small glass in his arm, but as the guy noted, that could have cut my foot or gotten into my eye, and I'd be out of the show because of this fucktard. And then the next day, when Dana said, listen, I'm going to let you stay, I don't know why, all I could think was, if I was one of the other fighters in this house, I'd be so pissed off right now that this fucker gets to stay.
Yeah.
He's a disaster waiting to happen for everyone.
Well, he's not a disaster waiting to happen. He's a
disaster that has happened.
He's a continual disaster.
He's a disaster that never stops.
He's global warming. Just keeps coming. Nothing you can really do about it, except kick him off the show in the end. So anyway, that was that show, and this was a great show, everybody. Don't get me wrong. This show ruled. Next week, I guess we find out the fate of this dipshit.
Hopefully
I suspect he's not kicked off yet, but it just to me seems inevitable. This man can't possibly last a season.
I cannot fathom them not kicking him off.
And, this...
He's already... I mean, he already As Dana said, I don't know why I'm letting you stay, and then he pushed it farther.
Yeah.
And if he was on the very tipping point of falling off the show, and then he went barreling through, Dana has no recourse but to kick him off the show now.
It's like getting banned from our board. That's, you know what I mean?
In a way.
It's like, okay, I put up with a lot of stuff, and a lot of trolls have a lot of fun at my expense. But when you go so batshit crazy that you just get kicked off the board entirely, you can't have any fun anymore. Nobody has any fun. You're just away. You're just gone. Bye! Moderation is the key, everybody. And Junie has no moderation.
No.
So he's doomed. But, anyway, that was the show. So anyway, everybody, Vinny does a tape review every month. Every week.
Sadly, every week.
Vinny's required to watch, get this, 1 hour a week.
Yeah.
And write a review. Let me just read the first line of your tape review, Vinny.
I was in a bad mood.
Jesus Christ, I don't feel like doing this week. Fucking tape review. What bullshit?
Right.
Okay, now. I remember the days, Vinny, where there was like deadline at Fishing and Hunting News.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like up all night and all day, and you just
once pulled an all-nighter. Yes.
Pulled an all-nighter, and you worked your ass off, and even though, as today, I hated you back then, I at least had a mild bit of sympathy for you. I can understand the man's overworked. Must suck to have this tape review added onto the pile of work that this man has to do. Vince, you are unemployed.
You've got me there.
What in your week? What are you doing during the day that has caused this 1 hour tape review to have caused you to flip your lid? I actually left that line in here, and I added editor's note. Vince is currently unemployed. I wanted this for posterity's sake.
Well, I'm certainly less busy than I was a month ago, or excuse me, 2 months ago when I had a job. God, it's been like 3 months. Anyway, what I do during my day, Brian,
Can't even remember the last time you worked.
For the football website I work for, I'm doing a few hours per day working for their stuff. I do a few hours a day, 4 or 5 days a week for this site. And this came on the weekend. Was also my birthday, where I had several hours I had to hang out with my mom, and then another few hours I had to hang out with my dad. And it was just I due to my own poor planning, I could have done this like on a Wednesday or Thursday, and I think it would have been fine. But I didn't think about it until like Friday. I was busy all day Friday, and then Saturday I was busy all day, and Sunday I was just busy all day. And I had to go home and do this after we had watched TNA and done the show, and then gone home and had to do it then.
So you at least acknowledge that this is your fault.
It is my fault because
it was on me as an editor at the last minute piling work upon you.
No, it's not like you called me and said you must do this. It's not like I had no notice. I blame several things. Here's whose fault it is. It's my parents' fault for having me born in October. I'm busy in the fall. I want my birthday to be in like June when nothing's going on.
I'm busy in the fall.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing nowadays, Vince? This is actually just like a serious question. Because, I mean, I'm trying to think what I would do if I didn't have a job. Mm-hmm. And what would be filling my time.
I wake
and the
up
answer is
every
actually
day.
Nothing.
I wake up every day and I make sure that the work I did for the football site for footballoutsiders.com, may as well plug it, I make sure the work I'd done the night before I had actually done correctly, because occasionally there will be an error, and I want to make sure I have that done right. If that is done right, I occasionally look for work. Not often, I won't lie. I do my job searching activities on Friday, and that sadly is largely almost a full day thing. This week, for example, I have not one but 2 separate football games to chart, where I open an Excel spreadsheet and I watch the game, and play by play I know how many pass rushes there were, how many blockers there were, who the defender was, that sort of thing. There's a couple of hours, it's about an hour a day. Then at night there's more stuff to edit, an hour or two doing stuff like that. And then there's the responsibilities I have for this site, wherein my Monday, today I watched SmackDown, and then I watched Raw, and then I came over here. And then tomorrow I have a column to write. I'm working 2 to 3 hours for my column for the Scramble for the Ball column for Football Outsiders. Wednesday I'll watch Ultimate Fighter and ECW, have more game charting. Thursday I will watch Impact and then do a show here. Fridays are largely clear. This Friday was unique because it was my birthday and I had to go hang out with my mom.
I thought that was Saturday.
Saturday, hung out with my dad. Welcome to the world of divorced parents.
Oh, Christ. I just wanted everyone to know when they read the news this week that this was not my fault that Vince blew a gasket doing the tape review. This was perhaps his own poor planning.
I would like to not do it anymore. I've watched enough wrestling. If the day ever comes...
It's an hour a week.
If the day ever comes when you say,
Okay,
Vince,
Vinny,
we have
hold on
no
a
more
second.
room for
Hold
the
on.
pay-per-view, I'll be
Hold
saying,
on.
that's fine.
Let's look at it this way. Let's look at the fair trade-off of me taking an hour out of my week, which is in fact busier than your week,
Sure.
to produce your sports show.
Well, that's true.
Which I get no money, by the way.
Well, so far, neither do I.
Well, still, it's out of the kindness of my heart that the Vinny V Sports Show is alive. So I'm sure that you can continue to do a 1-hour tape review every week and write a quick column.
I will still, I will just state this. If the day comes when you, Brian, say there is no more room in the newsletter for this, I will say that's fine. Is that a fair thing to say?
So will most of the readers. But that's just the way that things work around here.
Fine.
Things have just got to be done the way they've always been done.
We fear change.
Watch this.
Dancing to beat the devil.
She was dancing,
And I failed.
she was dancing,
And I failed. Failed.
she was dancing to beat the devil.
She was dancing a lot. Cockily walks.
Cockerly? Someone's got to turn that into a song.
Fail. Tremendous.
A masterpiece.
That's amazing. Oh, God.
Cockerly? That's how it's done, everybody. That's how you make a song. Watch this.
Dancing to beat the devil.
She was dancing,
And I failed.
she was dancing,
And I failed.
she was dancing to beat the devil.
She was dancing a lot. Cockily walks.
Cockerly? Someone's got to turn that into a song.
Fail.
Ah, that brought me great joy.
Wow.
You've met Blizzard Beast.
Yes. He bought me a Corona.
He's got this enormous beard.
Yeah.
He wears like a ski cap. I mean, you see this man, and
He looks like he's dressed for a blizzard.
no offense, but when you see Blizzard Beast, you don't think musical genius.
No.
But he is!
Or if you do think musical genius, you think speed metal drummer.
He's a genius.
Hello?
I love you, won't you tell me your name?
Hello?
I love you, let me jump in your game.
Hello?
I love you, won't you tell me your name?
Hello?
I love you, let me jump in your game.
Hello? 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 Hello?
All right, we got Granny here on the line.
We sure do.
Granny, what's going on?
Oh, not too much. I've been out trimming trees and brush and stuff.
What?
I've been out trimming trees and cutting shrubs and
Got-
stuff like that.
Gotta have your yard looking good for Halloween.
Well, I had a blister on my finger, and I decided to go buy some better tools, and then now I don't have a blister anymore.
That's good news.
Well, that's good. Now, what are you getting everything ready for? Just winter in general?
Yeah.
That's cool.
You
All right.
have to trim stuff, or it gets carried away.
Boy, do I ever know that, Granny. Now, let's talk about the Dancing with the Stars. Your thoughts on the show?
I'm telling you, this week was the worst one ever.
Oh, boy.
What the hell?
Everybody just danced terrible. In fact, their points went down from last week. It just was awful.
Just
So
sucks.
they're getting worse as the show goes along.
Your buddy, what's his name, Sapp or whatever?
Warren Sapp.
Sapp.
He came in tied for first place.
Oh, my God, those are some horrible dancers.
He really did.
Jesus.
I have seen Warren Sapp dance, and he puts his heart into it, I'll say that.
And Cloris is still there.
So the leaders are the fat guy and the 82-year-old woman?
No, she wasn't in. She wasn't in first. It was Burke and Sapp.
Brooke
I don't know.
Burke.
I see.
I suspect Brooke Burke was a better dancer than Warren Sapp.
Well, he didn't really do too
I'm
bad.
telling you, Brian, you should see this guy.
Wow, I guess I may have to get a tape of this one.
He once scored a touchdown, and
he's pretty big, but he dances pretty well.
he once scored a touchdown and began to copy Beyonce.
Wow. So how did everyone else do, Granny?
Everybody did bad, and then Clara, she decided to be a little bit serious and not be goofing around all the time, and then the judges didn't like it.
God, so maybe it was just the judges who were in a bad mood as well.
Oh, yeah, and that Kim Kardashian, she got kicked off because she didn't act sexy enough.
Kim?
Wait, what? Hang on. That's all she's famous for.
Well, she sure didn't act on the show because they kept saying she was too stiff and she didn't, and she didn't seem to care to get kicked off either.
Stunning.
Granny, I have to cut you off here because I have to ask Vinny a question, and I don't know if you'd know the answer to this, Granny, and there's not really an answer, but I have never seen... What does anyone see in Kim Kardashian? This is a complete mystery to me.
She's curvy.
I'm completely befuddled.
That's the only answer I have.
Okay, so there's not a million curvy, good-looking girls in this world?
I guess not.
All over the television?
I don't understand it.
I have no idea. Granny, this one's a complete mystery to me. This Kim Kardashian.
What, to me, too? I'd never heard of her before either.
But a dime a dozen.
She's famous for being moderately attractive and being in a well-known LA family with lots of money.
Moderately.
Yeah.
I could name a million hotter women that I could see on TV off the top of my head. Sure. I have no idea why this woman's famous. All right, Granny, so what else do we have on the show?
Are you through?
Sometimes Granny Bryan gets on a roll and there's no stopping him.
Yeah.
Trust me on this one.
I'm finished for now, Granny.
Well, the second night, I don't listen to it very much because they don't have them dancing the second night, and they have a bunch of entertainers, and I don't care for any of them, so I just kind of have it on in the background.
So it's Dancing with the Stars where the stars don't dance.
The second night they don't dance. They just have where they have them all stand around, and then they say, well, these two get to stay. And then they have some more entertainers, and then they say, well, these two others get to stay, so they have to be standing there for a whole hour for them to decide who's going to go home for that night.
So it's like a banquet.
Yeah, it's just kind of...
And is it live? So they have to go out for a second day just for this aspect of it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Granny. Well, before we let you go, I got two more questions for you today.
What's that?
I was at the gym today, and I was on the bike thing, and they've got the little TV that you look at. And I normally read, but I was having some issues with my Kindle. It was... I needed to look at the time, but the Kindle got in the way of the time. So I had to put the Kindle... Anyway, the point is, so I'm watching part of the TV, and The Price is Right is on, and Drew Carey is the host. He's the new host.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of marks do you give this man for this job?
He does pretty good.
Yeah? He's no Bob Barker, though, right?
He's no Bob... I don't watch it that much anymore, though.
Was it because Bob Barker's gone?
No, I just kind of... got involved in other stuff or something, so I have a question for you, too. In fact, two of them.
Uh-oh. All right.
One of them, Miss Sylvia, wants to know what happened to Edge.
Edge?
Mm-hmm.
He's
in hell.
Well, he had a knee injury, and they wanted him to be off TV for a couple of weeks, but tell her he's going to be back in about, I'd say a couple of weeks.
Okay, and since you're going to Vegas, is there going to be no match in Marysville this time?
There is, but I don't know if I can wrestle because my back's still jacked up.
Well, we still want to go.
All right, well, I'll tell you the date. I'm going to go to Vegas in November, Granny.
Oh, I thought you said this month.
No, in fact, I think it's next weekend.
Oh, already?
I think it's next Saturday, yeah.
Oh, because your mom said she would take us, so...
All right, well, yeah, I may wrestle, but I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, but the show's going to be there nonetheless, so you can head out to that.
Okay, then my other favorite guy will be there, so I'll watch him.
That's right, young Bolo. Now, The last question, Granny, I know you talked a little bit about politics last time, so did you happen to see the vice presidential debate tonight?
Yes, I did, and I thought she did great.
Really? Okay. I didn't see it, so I don't know. I just needed to get an opinion.
Oh, you wouldn't believe she was so good.
Now, was she really very good, or are you grading on a curve, like when we watch Impact?
No, I thought she did very, very well.
Well, there you go. How about that?
In fact, they rated it, and she had about 85% of people said she did better than the other guy.
Well, how about that? There's an upset, I guess, is the way you would term it in pro wrestling
I want to ask
terms.
another question. What do you think of this big bailout?
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
I don't have enough time to get into this, Granny. All I know is I have some mutual funds that have lost a lot of money, but I'm not. I will say something about this, actually. I will say something about this. Every time there's like some sort of every time there's something that happens in the financial world and the stock market goes down, you see all these people that do this for a living that freak out and take all their money out. And I'm not an investor. I don't do this for a living, but that's the dumbest damn thing I've ever heard of in my life. All of you dipshits out there that have a lot of money invested in stocks, all of you dumbasses that took it all out the day this thing crashed, and now it's already started to go back up and you've lost all that money, too bad for you.
You don't sell low.
Wait a minute,
Christ.
though. It might not go back up.
Oh, Granny,
I guarantee you, Granny, over the next, it may take a year, it may take 5 years, but the market will go back
it'll
up.
always go back up.
Yeah.
The market always...
Maybe 5 years, and by that time I'm going to be gone.
You ain't going to be gone, Granny. The point is the market always goes back up. Always. Always, 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 always.
And if you're going to need money in the next 5 years, it shouldn't be in the stock market.
I don't study investing or anything like that, but even I know. Buy low, sell high.
I don't think they should have signed the bailing myself.
Oh, no, I don't even care about all that stuff. I'm just laughing at all the dumbasses that took out all their money and now they're screwed. Just idiots. Anyway, that's enough from me.
One more question.
Buy low, sell high, everybody, and save your money.
Hey, one more question.
Yes?
When's Van Damme going to have his own show?
He's going to have his radio show, yeah. You should call in, Granny.
How am I going to know where he's at?
Well, there will be a call-in number that I'm sure they'll post on our board, and you'll be able to see what it is, and you can give him a call.
Oh, maybe I could do that.
That's
That
right.
would be the best thing on the planet Earth ever. Granny and RVD just hanging out.
Granny, I'll tell you when next...
I will make sure, Granny, you get this phone number.
Yeah, we'll make sure you get the phone number, Granny. You call in.
Okay. Another thing, I listened to your show tonight, and you having guests. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you like the multiple guests?
Yeah, I like the guy that played your song.
Oh, that was a good one, too, yeah. So we had someone call in and play Blue Moon of Kentucky. Nice. It was awesome. So, all right, Granny, we got to let you go because we actually going to have callers here on the line soon enough.
All righty.
All right, well, thanks again, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Adios. I like how I just thank my grandma like she's a caller.
Well, you should.
Thanks again, Granny. We'll talk to you next week.
Granny took time out of her day to come on your show and talk to you.
Seriously, all these dumb fucks that took out all their money the day when the market was at its lowest. How could you be so fucking stupid? I mean, this is even stupider than anything that TNA has ever done.
Well, come on.
I mean,
the
only excuse I can't even say if you're a 99-year-old man you should have taken it out. I can't even say that. God, just such idiocy. I just laugh at the thought of all those people that sold when it was at its dirt cheapest.
You should be buying right
And then the fucking market went up the very next day.
Yeah.
I don't even follow the stock market all that closely, and I could have told you that the market would go up the very next day.
Yes.
God, these dumb fucks. We are back here on the show, and we've got Granny here on the line. Granny, how's your week?
All right. I stayed home all day today, and we had some hail and rain and everything.
All the fun and games here in Seattle.
Yeah.
Now, are you excited for Tulalip on Saturday night?
Oh, I was going to ask you because I forgot. I didn't remember if it was Friday or Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Saturday's good.
Saturday night.
I'm ready.
And is Sylvia going?
Oh, she sure is.
Oh, boy.
Was the wrestlers here in Seattle this week?
No, they were in Oh, yeah, they were in Seattle, too, yeah. I went to Portland, but they were also in Seattle.
Well, how come you didn't go to the Seattle one?
Because I couldn't do it. I had too much work to do having gone to Portland.
Oh, for goodness sake. You went away to Portland, and then when they came to Seattle, you didn't go?
Well,
That's pretty dumb, Granny, huh?
Granny, I saw the Portland show, and I saw the Seattle show, and I went to the right one.
Oh. Well, she said she sure would have liked to have gone, but she couldn't afford it.
Well, that's too bad. Well, I couldn't get free tickets if that's what you're asking, Granny.
No.
I actually tried, and they put their foot down. I was shunned.
What was that?
I was shunned by the World Wrestling Entertainment.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They would have none of it. Now, Granny, let's talk about Dancing with the Stars. How was the program this week?
Okay.
Was it better than last time?
Huh?
Was it better than last time?
Yeah, it was a little better this time because somebody actually got a 10 points.
Oh, wow.
First one. But anyway, Cloris is still there, and Rocco, he would have got kicked off, except Misty Mae Trenner got hurt.
Oh.
So they couldn't kick him off. They had to have extra dancers.
All right, now I got to stop you already. Rocco who? Rocco Rock?
Oh, I forget his last name. He's a cook.
He's a cook, you say?
Yeah.
And how did the woman get hurt?
When they were practicing dancing, she hurt her leg, and so she's out for.
Like,
the
did
season.
she break it?
No, she came back the next day in a wheelchair and was explaining everything.
Oh, that sounds like some over-dramatization right there, Granny.
I don't know.
She's clearly not a wrestler.
And Cloris Leachman was wearing a wig and it fell off while they were dancing.
Oh, that has to suck.
It was funny.
Cackling at someone's bald misfortune.
So she's going to be on next week again, and my sister in Bremerton likes her, but Sylvia says she thinks she should go home.
How about that?
You're very opinionated ladies.
You are. The elderly are always opinionated.
What is that?
Go on.
Anyway, that's about as far as it went.
That's as far as it went? What about War and Sap?
Oh, okay. Let's see. Brooke came in first, and Sap came in second.
See? Wow.
He's doing well.
God, he's doing all right. So he could win this whole damn thing.
Well, he's getting pretty good. He's, for being a big person like he is, he's doing very good.
He's a heavy fellow.
He's a large man, yes.
Hefty.
Yes. So that's good, Granny. Well, that's great. So, before we let you go here, the show that's coming Saturday, you don't know anything about Eugene, do you?
No.
You've never seen Eugene?
I don't remember.
All right, write that name down, Eugene.
How could I forget it? I don't have to write it down. Why?
All right, fine. Well, Granny, you're approaching 80. You never know when you might forget someone's name.
Hey, I got a couple more years to go.
I know, but the point is I forget people's name, and I got many, many years to go. So, Anyway, Granny, ask Sylvie about Eugene. He was in WWE. He's coming to Tulalip.
Oh, really?
He's arguably a bigger star than the Honky Tonk Man, but you could argue either way.
Okay, I'm writing it down with my left hand.
All right.
That's good to know.
Hey, Vince, where's my phone number for Rod Van Dam?
Oh, I was supposed to do that, wasn't I?
Oh, Vince, you failure. You could have called into the first Rod Van Dam show.
I left it with my key, I think, when I lost that.
Oh, did you ever find your keys?
Well, someone else did, and they returned it, but it was after I already bought, in fact, 2 more. But, so now I have 3 keys.
You're like me when I first bought my car. About a week later, I locked my keys in it, so after I had to pay $99 to have the door unlocked, and the next time I went down, got 3 keys.
I had a spare key, but it's to my old car. So it did me no good. And then
because that's what you do, Granny. You always have a spare key to your old car.
Yeah. And then I put the spare key to my old car back. I put it on the shelf. I thought, what am I doing this for? And I still, to this day, I don't know.
You think you were getting to be 80 there, Vince?
I often do.
You should see him, Granny. He doesn't look a day over 70.
That's right.
All right, Granny. Well, I guess we'll see you this weekend then.
Okay, I guess that's about it. I just wanted to tell you, I'm not talking any more politics.
Oh, Granny, don't listen to the board.
I know, but I stick my foot in my mouth every time. So
oh, come on, Granny. They're all idiots anyway. You know what they do? They go on there and they cry about you talking politics, and then they go into their own forum and talk politics all day long. Hypocrites.
And don't forget, Vince, I want that phone number because I really want to call him.
Don't we all?
Vinny, seriously, you got to get her the phone number.
Send me an email right now, and I'll remember to do it.
Well,
you can't send an email right this second?
Granny can remember Eugene's name.
I can't remember to send her an email.
Granny, email me tonight, and I'll forward it to Vince.
There you go.
Do what?
Email me tonight about Rod Van Dam, and I'll forward it to Vince, and he'll send you the number.
I have Vinny's email.
Okay, we'll email him then.
Even better.
Okay, I'll do that.
Call him some naughty words while you're at it, because he's such a bumbling fool.
Oh, I don't use naughty words.
That's right. She's a lady, Brian.
All right, Granny. That's
I know
enough
you're
out of
familiar
you.
with many of those, but...
All right, Granny. We'll see you on Saturday night.
All righty.
Okay.
Okay.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Granny.
The one and only.
That's for damn sure. We've got Granny here on the line. Granny, how you
I'm
doing?
here.
What's going on?
Not too much. I'm sitting here playing Scrabble.
Scrabble again?
Yeah, I always do that and have Fraser on in the background.
Yeah. What's new this week, Granny? Have you talked to Sylvia about the next Toledo Championship Wrestling show?
Yeah, I guess we're going. Val doesn't want to go, so her and I are going.
Yeah.
So I haven't told her yet that she has to pay.
Well, Granny, like I said, you might be able to sneak in. You just never know.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Now we don't have to ask your opinion, but who do you expect is winning the election on Tuesday, Granny? Because we're not going to be able to talk to you until after this election is over.
Well, the folks, they all say that Obama's going to win.
So that's your prediction?
Yeah, but I don't want him to.
So much for not having the opinion here, Granny.
Well, that's all I'm saying on it.
Well, that's all you need to say, really, then, Granny. Well, we'll discuss it on next Thursday, in fact, when Obama is likely the president.
Yeah, I'm wearing out my mute button on my deal here for the TV because those commercials are getting so bad.
1 week to go, everybody.
Oh, I'll be so glad when it's over.
I haven't been watching any of the commercials. I avoid them completely.
Although it would be great if after the election, whoever loses should take out more ads being bitter. I tried to tell you.
Or whoever wins should take out more ads rubbing it in.
Gloating.
Ha-ha! Jackass, look who's president now!
Yes.
That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah,
My, how I'd run this country.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they did that.
No, Granny. All right, Granny. Well, we're going to let you go here today.
Okay.
Are you going to vote?
Oh, yes, I'm going to vote.
Smack down your vote, Granny.
I will.
All right. Well, okay. We'll talk to you next week.
I have to for the state of Washington, too, you know.
You have to, you say?
Yes.
Really? Now, who are you voting for in Washington? Because nobody really cares.
I'm not nearly telling you on that one.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
So you're willing to tell us nationally who you expect to...
No, I didn't. I told you who they think's going to win.
No.
You specifically
I didn't say I was going to vote for him, though.
You said you hoped he didn't win. Perhaps
Yes.
you're trying to sabotage yourself.
You said you hoped Obama did not win, which suggests that you are hoping John McCain wins.
Which suggests you're going to vote for John McCain.
So having said that, who are you voting for in Washington State?
Russell.
Russell, you say?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Rossi or whatever his name is.
Oh, it's Russell. Go vote for Russell.
Oh, my God.
I'm not up to par this week, I'm sorry.
Oh,
you're far above par.
Hey, Granny, guess who we're going to see in Vegas?
Who?
Wayne Newton.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going to be in the front row.
Oh, how exciting.
Now I'm jealous.
Me, Oliver, Dave, Ed in San Antonio, all in the front row. Can you even imagine such a thing, Granny?
I wouldn't want to be there. I'm not that big a fan of his.
Okay. Well, I'm not either, Granny. It's just to have a little fun, you know?
Yeah, that's good. He's okay, though.
Sure he is. He really is.
He's just getting a little old, though.
He is getting a little long in the tooth. Granny's voting for McCain, and she's talking about how old John Newton or Wayne Newton is.
And I'm not going to tell you how old I'm going to be, either.
Well, we all know, Granny. We've heard by now.
You have?
Wait, let's see. Oh, God. Well, we already talked about when the Depression was, and you were born just a couple days after, so that kind of ruined it.
Well, there might be a few people that aren't bright enough to figure it out.
That's entirely possible.
That's entirely possible on our website. All right, Granny. We're going to let you go now.
Yeah, it's been fun.
One of these days, we're going to have to take calls with you on the air, Granny.
Oh, well, maybe.
Well, it's better than last week when you just completely shot the idea down.
Well, I think about it.
All right. Well, we're going to let you go now, Granny. Have fun, and we'll talk to you next week when we've got a new president.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, the insanity.
Amazing. That was an amazing edition of Granny.
The dirty Jap.
Terrible.
The dirty Jap attack. The dirty Jap. Oh my God. The dirty Jap attack. The dirty Jap attack. And from behind with some karate move. Dave Melch.
Terrible.
You racist bastard.
From behind, 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 from behind. The dirty Jap.
It's amazing what people can do. Where did that even come from?
Well, apparently Dave Meltzer was going on one of his usual racist tirades.
I'm trying to think of... You always hear those and you think, now where would Dave have said that? I'm sure he was...
My guess would be he was quoting somebody.
He was mocking somebody, I'm sure.
Or maybe mocking someone, yes.
I don't know.
Let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on.
This shout out here is from Ed. What's up, Chico and Vinny? I just want to plug my last show, which had an interview with WWE superstar Evan Bourne. Someone that you yourself could never get as a guest. In fact, someone that no show on this site could get. As long as he doesn't get in any trouble for doing the show, Evan will be dropping in from time to time. Also, the week beforehand, we had a great interview with ROH superstar Roderick Strong with cameos with Colt Cabana and Evan in the background. And don't forget the show we did with Buddy Wayne that was better than any show that Bryan has ever done with him. How dare you, Ed?
Wow.
Ed's getting a big head here. I need for board members TDW865, Sitting Still, and JNB Cigars to check their PMs if they're still going to Vegas for the big fight. Also, anyone else that plans to go to Vegas for the fight, please PM me for dinner plans. Also, guys, when do I get my Battlestar Galactica review? It was the only thing I asked of you for planning the whole convention. And Vinny, while you were at Chico's, grab a copy of the battle and send it to me since it was the only thing I asked for from the first trip. That's the end.
Ed, like us, was in a bad mood this week.
Ed needs to smoke a little here or something, because he's angry.
I don't think Ed's a smoker. I could be mistaken.
Well, we'll see. Little nicotine here and there, you know. Calms the man down. Ed, we'll do what we can, buddy. I am coming to Vegas. I'll try and remember to bring something. And we had Bret Hart on last week. Who needs Evan Bourne? Don't get me started, Ed. All right, this is from Train 13. Guys, fairly new member here, cashing in on the shout-out. Big shout-out to Anchor. All caps. That's how I knew him. Who I knew from the old The Wrestling Channel forum, where I went under the screen name Blake Norton is my dad. That suggests Blake Norton has had sex, which we all know is incorrect. Me and him were the SCW Tag Team Champions at TWCF. Surprised to see my former teammate has become such a big honcho over here. I tried to talk to him on MSN. He ignored me. You've been ignored by Anchor, my friend. Fail.
I don't even know where to start.
One last shout out to Kelly Cobalt. She's my new favorite chick that I secretly like. Keep up the good work. That disturbs me, young man, but many things do on this website. So what
Many
can you
things
do?
about that shout out disturb me.
Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, hi guys. Bill from North Dakota. How
Hey,
you guys
Bill,
doing?
what's going on?
Hey, just one plug here. You guys have got to go to YouTube and watch the trailer for the new Andre the Giant movie.
I saw it today.
Is that potentially the worst movie ever made, or what?
It is so...
Is this the one with the tall guy in the afro wig?
Yeah.
I saw this years ago. I think they were working on this now.
It is...
They're ready. It's coming out this month.
it is so amazingly bad that it's. I watch it. I used to do a lot of independent films, little wacky student films and the like. I've never been involved in anything this bad, number one. And number two, it's so bad that you think this has to be like a spoof.
Yeah,
It has to be a comedy. But it's like they're playing it to be serious. It's monumentally bad.
Go search Andre Heart of the Giant.
Yes.
It is unbelievable. All right, well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks very much for the call. I appreciate it. Who's this and where are you calling from?
It is LG1106 all the way from sunny Australia.
My God, an Australian calling.
Yes, you have quite a few.
How about that? We had a folk. We had somebody from the UK today, and we had somebody from where were they? Quebec. And now
Yes,
Australia.
yes, you did.
Wow. What's going on?
Oh, and the second one falling through.
That's right. Yeah. What's happening?
Nothing much. Sitting at my girlfriend's place eating Doritos.
You're having far more fun than we are.
What kind of
Well, you're
Doritos?
reviewing Impact. What did you expect?
That's right. You can't. Have you watched Impact or what's the Impact schedule over like in Australia?
I believe it's on at about 10 o'clock on Saturday nights here.
He believes.
And by the way, what a perfect time for any television show. Saturday
Hey,
on its
don't
own.
TiVo the damn thing.
It used to be on Saturdays at 11 o'clock p.m. here. And I think the same amount of people watched it practically. Now, so do you watch
So I think we
Impact
get
there,
about
LG?
30,000 people.
Do you watch Impact?
I try to. I record it and fast forward through about 90% of it.
Oh, wow. Well, that's...
What do you stop for? Who makes you stop and hit play?
Usually the beautiful people, and my girlfriend just chimed in. She believes TNA Impact is shit.
Well, she's correct.
You've picked a winner, LG. So the beautiful
Yes, I
people...
believe I have. She's significantly more talented than I'll ever be.
Well, that's good. Now, we're also big fans of the beautiful people. They're the highlight of the show most weeks, and even Cute Kip has I wasn't sure about him before, but he's just awful enough to fit in perfectly.
Just enough of a car crash.
Yeah, exactly.
And superficial.
And you say-
Believably superficial.
Did you say a car crash or a cock rash? Because either way, it works, you know?
Well, the show is a bit of a car crash, but I think if you watch enough Impact, you'll probably get cock rash.
I'm going to describe this show from now on as cock rash-rific.
It really is cock rash-rific. Oh, LG, you've called from halfway across the world. Any final words before we let you go here tonight?
Sorry, what was that?
Any final words before we let you go here tonight?
Tom Cruise was recently deified as the Christ-like figure of the Church of Scientology. I, for one, think this is excellent news. We're ever so much closer to seeing that fucker getting nailed up to a piece of wood.
Wow!
Holy crap, dude.
Now, there was a statement here on the show.
That was a statement.
I didn't know where that was going, but that was a political statement there in the end of some sort. Oh,
Yes, it was.
LG. Thanks for calling there, buddy. We really appreciate it.
Not a problem, guys.
All right, talk to you after a while.
Later.
Australia. And someone who...
What was so great is that he had to stop and think, and then once he started going, he was like a preacher.
Yeah.
He had that speech prepared.
Now, Nicole Kidman is from Australia, so that might have been part of the issue here with the Australians and Tom Cruise.
You're saying perhaps this guy had a chance at Nicole, and then Tom Cruise stole her.
No, Tom Cruise shunned her.
He did eventually shun her. Didn't she shun him? I forget.
Nah, it doesn't matter. We'll have to ask the next Australian if this is a countrywide Tom Cruise hatred, like it's become here in America, as now all of his movies tank because he's insane. Who is this and where are you calling from?
Well, unfortunately, Brian, it's not crumbly.
Who's this?
It's Zayas from the board.
Zayas, what's going on?
Not much. Vinny, you're back.
I'm alive and well, and I have a working card and 3 working keys.
He's alive, he's not well.
I'm well-ish.
I called on Monday night, and they weren't there, and I was very sad.
Not nearly as sad as I was, I assure you. My Monday night sucked.
Well, I just wanted to bring something up real quick. It's funny you guys talking about TNA and how Russo's like a dipshit.
Yeah?
And if you go on W24/7 right now, the Raw on there is the Raw from, I don't remember the exact date, but it's the 97 Raw where Shawn Michaels and Triple H came out and replayed the MSG click incident, you know, the curtain call.
Oh, yeah?
The stunning just complete lack of reaction by the crowd. They did not make a single noise while Shawn just kept repeating these lines and getting in Vince McMahon's face, and the crowd was just like, what the fuck is going on here? It was like such a carbon copy of what he tried to do like 3 years later with WCW. It wasn't even funny.
Baffling.
Yeah, he's dumb.
He is a fool. Did you watch Spin Cycle?
No, I didn't watch it. What did he say?
I haven't I watched, actually, I can't say I didn't watch it, because I watched part of it. They got Disco on there, they got Russo on there, they got Terry Taylor on there.
There's a genius. He blamed WCW's failure on cable boxes, fucking modded cable boxes.
Oh,
whatever.
sure, yeah. That was a problem. It didn't affect WWE at the same time. They had their biggest business year ever, but it put WCW out of business.
He's claiming that people were watching the shows, they just weren't paying for them.
Yeah, he said he had like market research that proved it.
Yeah.
Market research tracking cable theft.
Anyway,
Exactly.
Alan Farrell, who loves pretty much everybody, except myself when I really get on a roll with the Briscoes, Alan Farrell even said, I went into this Spin Cycle thinking that, maybe Russo, maybe I'll watch it and I'll think, he's a nice enough guy. I kind of feel bad for all these things I say about him. He goes, when it was over, I just thought, what a prick. So,
wow.
Yeah, a fine showing by Mr. Russo on Spin Cycle.
Isn't he supposed to be like a man of God now?
Sure.
What happened to that?
Did he ever clarify which god?
No, I don't know if he did.
Perhaps
or not.
it's a heathen god of idiocy he worships.
It's not the god of logic. I know that.
I was like on the phone listening to you guys, and I like almost died laughing when you did that professional line, because I didn't watch Impact because I don't watch shitty programming, and then I heard that line. I'm like, he taught me how to be a professional.
Yeah, that's what he said. You should have seen me sing it live. I cried with laughter.
That's not quite true. Technically, you howled with laughter.
I did. I
you had
howled.
a hearty belly laugh. Kind of like Steve Austin. But have we ever had a caller who calls in and says, yeah, I watch Impact every week?
No. Crumbly.
Has he called in?
Yeah, well, he called in the Daily Show.
I see.
He hasn't called in this show yet.
One of my best friends actually does watch Impact every week.
You must kill him.
I don't know why he enjoys it. He goes to law school in New York City, and he comes home early every Thursday so he can make sure he watches Impact.
Law school,
you gotta be kidding me.
No, I'm serious. He comes home every Thursday because his dorm doesn't have Spike TV.
I gotta get this man on the show. Like what is he like?
He just thinks the announcers are very funny.
He tunes into Impact just to watch Don West and Mike Tenay.
Yeah, that's all he ever talks about, is how great the announcers are in like a really bad way, so that's
fascinating.
what I'm assuming.
Wow. That is an amazing story there, Zayas.
Well, it's all true, I assure you.
Well, anything else before we wrap you up today?
Yeah, just everyone on this website who even had a passing interest in hockey, go listen to the new Adam and Mike show because it's awesome.
There you go. The Adam and Mike Big Hockey Nightmare. I've actually got to put that up on the front page here as well, so thanks for reminding me. That's right. It's up on the board right now. I'll put it up on the front page tonight. Everybody check it out. But, Zayas, thanks very much for the call.
Yep, thanks for having me on again.
Always a great caller. Thanks very much.
You just can't miss Mike Tenay and Don West.
Oh, fuck, they're the best announcers around, or something like that. Caller, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, Decca.
Decca, what's going on?
Nothing. First, I just want to say that the great Khalid doing comedy segments is a dream come true for me.
It is very good. Why is it a dream
There's
come
a second
true?
thing you have to say.
I apologize for that dead air.
Vinny does it all the time.
Yes, it's true.
All right, what's number two?
Number two was just a reflection from the great Iron Sheik roast this weekend.
Yeah.
Virgil is everywhere. This fucking dude, if you're in the bar and you turn around, he'll be in front of you, and then 2 minutes later, you'll be outside, he'll come up to you, and then 2 minutes later, you'll be in the lobby, he'll be around. He just walks wherever he is, just all around.
So, Decca, did you go to the roast?
Yes.
Jesus, buddy. Well, give us the update.
You posted my
Oh, that's right.
report.
That was
Did
you that
even
sent
look at
that
it?
in. Well, give us an update here on the air.
Okay, on the air. We had a group of crazy wrestlers readying for a convention. Kayfabe commentaries held a roast for the Sheik, and Scott Hall, not looking quite as fat as he did several months ago, but still quite portly, came in about a half hour in with WCW mainstay jobber Jim Powers, looking quite jacked.
What a crew.
And Scott, instead of just doing the decent thing because there's a show going on and grabbing a fucking seat, Scott decided he was going to stand up and kind of look out at the crowd and smile. Well, this drunk group of wrestling and non-wrestling fans, because there were a lot of Howard Stern fans there, start chanting Razor. And soon enough, that comedian makes the career fell faster than Owen Hart joke. Scott jumps up over a table. I was told that some of the audio equipment got knocked down, charges to the stage, and grabs the guy by his throat. Later, the guy told me that Scott apparently does not cut his nails because one almost dug into his throat. Bunch of guys pulled him off. Scott sat down. I went outside. About 10-15 minutes later, there were 6 to 8 cop cars in the hotel parking lot. I ran inside, told Scott, one of the bodyguards or whatever that was around Scott, that they needed to get him the hell out of there. They hid him in the bathroom. The cops came in. We all told them that there was no altercation, everything was fine, and they left. Then Scott picked up a rat and went back to his room, and the night went on from there.
You know, when I first heard about the Scott Hall deal, and I heard the comment the comedian made, and I heard that Scott throttled him, you kind of think, wow, Scott really comes off as a babyface in this situation. And then you hear more about it, and you realize, well, maybe not so much.
There are no winners here, is the real story.
It was a bunch of losers, in fact.
He was trying to steal Shiki's heat.
Oh, and Shiki was not happy.
Yeah, I hear Sheik had a rebuttal.
He did have a rebuttal. We'll actually play that here in a moment, but
I'm so happy for that.
Yeah, Sheik was none too happy, but overall, do you have a fun time there, Decca?
Yes, and the other note is that I realized probably my favorite Shiki, and it's just when Shiki has obviously smoked some very nice marijuana and is calm, but he gets angry. So it'll be like, Nikolai Volkov, no good cheap Jew son of a bitch, ha ha ha. And it's always golden.
Now, let me ask one more question before we let you go here.
Yes.
What happened with Shiki and Bryan Blair?
At the end of it, Bryan Blair reached out a hand in forgiveness and kindness to Shiki.
Sure, bury the hatchet.
Shiki sold it for a little bit, looked at him, fucking wound up and slapped that man in the face.
Wow.
And as I said on the board, it was the slap equivalent of sodomy.
Jesus.
Well,
I know that B. Bryan Blair was legitimately not very happy about that, so apparently the feud continues.
Good. There is much money to be made.
Well, at least he didn't suplex him, put him in the camel clutch, break his back, and then fuck his ass.
Well, maybe that may be to come.
Well, Brian, before I go,
before he lets us go,
as long as you are going to play Shiki's latest rant, if you have Shiki wants some medicine on the drop board, please play it. It is a favorite of mine.
I may try and play that after a while here.
Thank you very much, Brian. Have a good night. You and Vince. Oh, and Vince as well, of course.
That's right.
Gracias.
So thank you very much for the call. We really appreciate it. That was Decca, everybody. And as promised, let's see what the Iron Sheik had to say about Scott Hall the day after the incident. Might help if I turn the goddamn sound up. Here we go.
How you doing, wrestling fans? It's the Mannequin from YouTube, and look who I have with me.
It's no BS, it's ESS. And we're here with the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, and my number one man who puts all the stuff here on YouTube. So thank you for putting all our stuff and taking everything off of everybody's DVDs and making sure that they don't make any money because they see it all on YouTube. But thank you very much. So, Shiki baby, what do you got to say?
First of all, don't talk normal, don't get excited, don't talk like jabroni. Fuck, half and half. Second, I want to say, I have a lot of respect for my countrymen. Money was there. Kevin Nash, you make your fool of it. I mean, Scott Hall, you make a fool of yourself. And Nicola was over there, myself. We can beat the fuck out of you. And the reason we didn't do it, because respect for my Rose and respect for Mr. Bob Backlund. But I want to let you know, what was his name again? Scott Hall. Leave him alone. He makes me so fucking mad, I don't even give a fuck about your name. I mean, Scott Hall, sooner or late, I make you worse than Brian Blair. I have a lot of respect for Brian Blair. I slap his face. He deserves it. But I want to let you know, you are number one in my target. Sooner or later, I'm going to get even with you. 20 years ago, Kevin Nash, your partner, no, and Sensations, no. Atlanta, Georgia, I was a target. If you get smart with me 20 years ago, I suplex you, I put you in the camel crash, I break your back, and I fuck your ass. I make you humble. But sooner or later, you are my target. You want to get smart with me? You are fucking punk, piece of shit. Fuck you. And sooner or later, I'll get even with you. Have a good day. Go fuck yourself.
Wow. The best part of this, the best part of Iron Sheik's rant right there is sitting calmly next to him is Nikolai Volkov.
It's just another day for him.
He's just sitting there, just staring off, listening to Sheik do his complete rant, and he doesn't even acknowledge it in any way.
My new favorite Sheikyism is sooner or late.
Yes, sooner or late. We're going to take a caller on the line now. Oh, now that sounds... Hold on a second, caller.
Maybe you won't take a caller. That may be too low quality to use on the show.
Hold on a minute, caller. Don't hang up.
When the quality is too low for this program... Are they gone?
Hey, caller, can you hear me? Apparently he cannot. Okay, don't hang up yet, caller. Oh, here we go. Caller, can you hear me now?
Yes, you're real low.
I'm real low. All right, hold on.
Don't worry, we'll fix it by March.
How's that right there?
That's better.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm glad you're good. You're helping us out here. What's going on?
Not much. It's Contraire.
Contraire, what's going on? We've never had you on the show before.
This actually sounds great.
What's going on, guys?
Not too much. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Did you see here? Have y'all talked about Impact yet?
Well, we've not talked about Impact yet, but we'd be happy to talk about it a little bit with you here.
Mike Tenay made an announcement that Mick Foley's T-shirt is going to be on 30 Rock.
He did say that.
I only caught him mention the name of the show. I didn't hear what he said.
His T-shirt.
Not the man. His T-shirt.
That's the first time ever I think that's happened.
An appearance by Mick Foley's shirt.
They have plugged Mick Foley's T-shirt on an upcoming program. That is incredible.
Now, am I supposed to hate Sting because he gets more days off and makes more money?
You know, let me talk about that here very quickly.
I don't know.
No, I want to talk about this, actually, Contraire, because you bring up a good point. When I watched that segment, I thought the exact same thing you did, because I thought, okay, let me get this straight. AJ Styles he signed a deal, and he's working sort of a schedule here where he's never at home, and his wife is basically a widow, as he said. Or a single mother. Sorry, single mother. I apologize, everybody. But, no, that's what he said. And then he's like, well, Sting, you're always home coaching your kid. And I thought, okay, so who's the good father here? Who the fuck are we? Why are we supposed to be booing Sting and cheering AJ? I don't understand.
Exactly. AJ, you are flying around the country chasing your adolescent dream. You could get a real job. Sting Sting was offered a large, comfortable contract and accepted it.
Yeah. That's great. Good for you.
Fans like guys that make more money.
He signed a better deal. He made a better deal with the promotion. So I don't understand why people should be upset about
Apparently,
that.
It would be noble for Sting to volunteer to go on the weekend shows for free.
Apparently.
As a guess.
Oh, he'd be a dumb shit then.
Contraire, you're a great man. How have you never called in before?
I've never been able to get through.
Really? You need to continue trying to get through like every single week. And I don't know if I've ever publicly thanked you in person, but Contraire, thanks for everything you do, buddy.
You do a lot for the site. You are a great man. Thank you for your contributions.
Yes.
I know this.
And call every week.
Yes. Oh, Contraire. Anything else there, buddy?
Did Samoa Joe come off worse after that Nash promo? Because he looked just like a dipshit.
Yes.
He did?
Amazingly so.
But the Nash promo also confused me when he came out and said... You want to know why I beat you up? Did you forget that promo you cut on Scott Hall 11 months ago?
Well, to be fair, Brian, it was 10 months ago.
I'm sorry, 10 months ago. And I thought, well, yeah, that's probably why.
I did. I know I did. I had to think about it.
Plus, didn't Nash turn on him like
10 months ago in a tag match, but it didn't bother him.
They've broken up like 4 times or something.
And they're still friends.
They're like an old married couple.
They very much are. Vinny would know better than I, but...
How dare you.
Contreras, I want to thank you again. We're going to have to let you go. We're testing out equipment tonight, so I need to get a bunch of different callers in here to test this stuff out.
No problem.
All right, well, thanks again for calling.
Okay.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
You are on the air. Who is this and where are you calling from? Save the show.
Hey, guys, it's Cappy calling from Japan.
Cappy, what's going on?
Japan.
Not much. I just got off work. I'm trapped in my house.
That sucks.
You're trapped. Are you under quarantine?
There's construction going on, and perpendicular to my driveway is a 1 meter wide ditch that is about a meter deep as well.
Can't drive over that then.
No, so I'm having a few drinks at home alone.
I'm so jealous.
Cappy, do you get Impact over there in Japan?
No, but I actually have, I get the TNA pay-per-views here.
Oh, well, that's certainly
better than Impact.
Yeah, that's the best of all worlds right there then, the pay-per-views.
Well, there's one coming on in like a day or so, and it actually sort of ties into my question here.
All right. Which pay-per-view is it?
I think it's the one with
this is awesome.
The ladder match with Val doing wacky shit.
Was that Bound for Glory?
No, it's...
Okay, Val.
The wedding on a ring pole match.
Okay, yeah, I guess that was the one before. I can't remember that pay-per-view.
It was the one before. It was dumb.
What the hell was the main event?
I don't know. I only really watch it when...
It wouldn't be Sting and Joe, so it must have been Joe and somebody.
Oh, well.
Oh, that was, I think, is the 3-way, I think?
It may have been.
Sure.
Well, what's your question?
Well, a couple weeks ago, I saw on the front page, I believe it was Derek Bergen who had the TNA Cross the Line contest for a copy of the Impact video game.
I believe so, yeah. You had a contest?
Well, I saw that, and the first thing that went through my head was, it's a contest to write what you think TNA is finally going to do to cross the line of human decency. and it turned out it was just a straight entry form type thing.
Sure, yeah.
But then I thought, well, they already have the Brown Guys music starting out with a plane crash. So they've already done that.
Yeah, hard to top that one. They did finally pull that, by the way.
Oh, they did?
After like 3 weeks, it occurred to them, hey, wait a minute. This is offensive. Let's stop that.
Well, my question to you guys is, have you guys ever really been truly and ethically, morally offended by anything you've seen on a wrestling show? And
God, yes. More than once. The worst for me, and I don't think this bothered other people as much as it bothered me, but when 3 Minute Warning beat up the lesbians, I actually got physically ill and like nauseous. As while watching these giant Samoan men beat up these hot girls who had done nothing other than be hot, and that made them basically rape fodder here in the ring, and that actually made me ill.
Yeah, going like around that same time, I thought the whole Billy and Chuck thing was sort of a little over the line.
Yeah, I don't know if I didn't really feel that way about Billy and Chuck. I thought the 3 minute warning thing was pretty appalling. I don't know if offended. I don't really even know what offended means. It takes a lot to, I guess, offend me as some people get offended.
To be fair, Brian and I have spent so much time in wrestling, our skin is thicker.
Yeah.
Racial slurs go off our back like nothing, because we've heard them all. Racial, ethnic, sexual slurs don't bother us.
Yeah. I've seen too much stuff to really be offended by some of the stuff I see in wrestling. But I mean, obviously some of the stuff in the wake of Eddie Guerrero's death.
Yeah. Blowing up the lowrider.
Gravely offended me. Offended may not even be the right word. Just made me mad.
Well, that's what offended means.
I don't know. I'd have to look up the true definition of offended. But
it made you mad. You're offended.
Well, sure, sort of. But I mean, a lot of things make me mad. But
Tell me more, Daniel Webster.
God damn you two! Come on now. No, I just I don't know. I see being offended and being mad as two different things.
Yeah, well, like when I see the two big companies, because God knows a bunch of indies have done a whole lot of like stupid shit. I'm looking at you, Ian Rotten. But I see the two big companies, and I see WWE. I see Vince sort of when he does something offensive, he does it to truly be offensive, and I see TNA just not knowing any better,
just being kind of stupid.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
Sure.
Like it's sort of like I guess it was 2006 when they did the Vince and Shane versus Sean and God angle. I remember Mr. Kremen was a bit offended at that.
Yeah. That was definitely an attempt to anger some people,
and
including Sean.
Yeah. Ironically,
you see the Sheikh Abdul Bashir's music starting out with the plane crash. I think TNA just didn't really notice.
No, what I think that was I think there were certain people that thought that would be kind of edgy, and it went under the radar for a while, and then probably somebody that. Somebody I think at some point probably did hear and just went, what the fuck is this? And that was the end of that.
Perhaps someone who works for, I don't know, Spike TV.
Sure,
said,
yeah.
Get that shit up our network immediately.
Exactly.
I think the one thing that I've seen that was truly something awful was the whole Pac-Man Jones ordeal.
Well,
highlighted by picking up the bucks at the dancer, like a dancer at the club.
Yes.
Making light of the paralysis of the
man.
man.
Was in fact offensive. Yes.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. All right, Cappy. Well, I want to thank you very much for the call, especially calling all the way from Japan.
I'm a big fan, you guys.
Oh yeah, I really appreciate it.
And I'm sorry, I'm a little drunk right now.
That's okay.
What you drinking?
Caucasians.
Oh boy.
White Russians, yes.
But I put chocolate in it though, so it's pretty good.
So it's a tan Russian.
Maybe, yeah.
All right, we better not follow this discussion any further. All right, Cappy, thanks again for the call.
All right, rock out, guys.
All right, see you later.
Yeah.
Rock out.
Yeah, he's had a couple.
I'm so jealous.
Let's see. Verb. Act in disregard of laws, rules, contracts, or promises, as in offend all laws of humanity, violate the basic laws of human civilization, break a law, break a promise. See, that's when I see, offensive, I don't know, like,
you don't get mad if people violating, read that again?
Well, no,
violating the laws of civilization.
No, you jack. Well, that's what I'm trying to say, dipshit. Like, when I get angry at Impact, it's not violating the laws of civilization. It's just making me mad. Thus, I don't feel it's right to say I was offended by it. Whereas making light of Jill Jarrett's death, that is in some way violating a law of human decency, so I can say that that's offensive. Big difference.
Okay.
I got really mad at the tag gauntlet, but it's not offensive.
It is fair to say, if something is offensive, it does make you mad. But if something makes you mad, that does not mean it was offensive.
You're on the air. Who is this?
It's Exias.
Exias, what's going on?
I can barely hear you at all, Brian.
Well,
he has nothing to say anyway.
We'll do our best.
So you're having more audio problems, Ryan?
No, you sound great on our end.
You're doing fine.
Yeah, we don't care if you can hear us, as long as we can hear you.
Well, okay, I can kind of hear you. It just sounds like you're kind of like in a wind tunnel.
Well, he is small.
I don't know if you're like Eric Bischoff. Remember Jim Cornette said he had hair that would stand perfectly still. You're in a wind tunnel. Is your hair perfectly still right now, Brian?
If you could see my hair, it's...
Nothing about his hair is perfect, I'll tell you that much. And this is me saying that, by the way.
Yeah. What's up, Exias?
So you guys picked up so quick, I didn't hear any of the show. I'm very disappointed.
Well, there wasn't much to hear. We ranted about how much Impact sucked, and we've been
talking again. Even live, it sucks.
Oh God!
Oh my God, dude, this is so much worse.
Did you DVR it or anything?
Brian, why would I do such a thing? Do I look like I hate myself?
Now he's offended. Well, I haven't seen you, so I don't know. Maybe it looks like I hate myself right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean I do.
Well, I mean, why would I subject myself to, like, torture
I
in
don't
the
know.
form of video
Because
signal?
we have to.
Some people are masochists. Maybe you've crossed the line. I don't know.
Part of me wants to tell people to stop watching Impact immediately so we get canceled, and part of me is like, no, fuck them. I have to watch. They should have to watch too.
Well, Exias, I'm going to be your friend and tell you, don't watch this show. It was no good.
Well, I didn't watch it, so that's okay. I was not going to catch the replay.
All right. Well, good. That's great. So
I just want to know, have you heard anything like about what Ring of Honor is doing now, giving out like comp tickets?
I have not heard this. For which events?
I'm very surprised this story hasn't broken at all. But basically, I got an envelope from Ring of Honor on Wednesday with 2 tickets to a show I already have tickets to, the Edison show on Saturday.
Really?
I don't know how widespread this is or how much they're doing it, but they basically send you a letter that says, like, come check out the greatest new product in wrestling, and all we ask for these free tickets, they're GA, obviously, but is that you come and enjoy the show and tell people about Ring of Honor. I'm like, why would they send me free tickets when I order tickets from them all the time? I have tickets like their next 3 shows. I don't really need 2 more free tickets. But
I wouldn't be surprised if they were papering, say, the shows down in Florida, since they haven't done too well. But I'm surprised about Edison. That's New Jersey, right?
Edison, as far as the area goes, I think Edison's probably the worst market they have left. Now Long Island's gone. Like I go to the Edison shows because they're literally, I could walk there from my house.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I probably wouldn't even bother because they're always the weakest of the Northeast shows. So.
Well, I don't know if I'd be overly concerned about the fact that ROH is papering shows, just because, I mean, they're making the bulk of their money off DVD sales and off what little they make on pay-per-views. And I mean, if you're, I think that if you're making decent money on the DVDs and ticket sales are slow, which they really are for indie wrestling all over the place, especially with the economy being down. I mean, if we had Eugene at Tulalip, the thing would have done another 37 paid. So I think for a DVD taping, you want to fill the place up. If you've got to paper it a bit to do it, then great. You might sell some DVDs there while you're at it to people that show up for free.
And they may as well. It's not a bad idea once in a while to say, "Hey, this guy's a loyal customer. Let's toss him some free tickets."
Sure, but you already bought tickets.
It's just too bad. Like everyone I've asked so far, they actually want to take the tickets. I've gotten one person to take one of them, and the other ticket is apparently going to sit here unused because everyone's either like, "Fuck wrestling," you give a shit about wrestling.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, that's pretty much the reaction these days.
Well, that sucks. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. How about that? Anything else there, Zias?
Not really. I just wanted to plug my new radio show. You can go to the sports section of the board to check it out. The Center Ice Addicts, all for all the hockey fans on the show. We had Mike Sempervive from this very website on the show this past week.
What an irony. I think he's going to be on Vinny's show this week as well.
We're trying to set it up on my show.
Getting around like a whore.
I had to call into that.
Do it this weekend. It'll probably be tomorrow afternoon, so check the board out.
All right. Oh, tomorrow afternoon, shit. Well, oh, well. All right, well.
Quit your job and call in.
Afterwards.
All right, well, thanks again for the call. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good night.
Adios. You're on the air. Who is this and where are you calling from?
It's Contreras.
Contreras, what's going on? I'm sure you're here to talk about Impact.
Unfortunately.
A bad show.
It wasn't very good.
No.
That was the worst show. I don't know.
It was very bad. What was the worst segment on the show, Contreras?
Anything with Booker T in it.
Really? You're not a big fan of Booker T and his new accent?
No.
It astounds me that of all the things to hate about this episode, you've chosen Booker T's wacky accent.
Now, what about the gauntlet match?
I didn't pay much attention to it, to be honest with you.
That may have been the key.
That may have been the key.
If you didn't want to pay attention,
maybe it was
wasn't
that much good wrestling on the show, aside from the women's match, I don't think.
No, that was the only good match on the entire show, in fact.
I don't know what happened in that X Division match. Jay Lethal must have pissed somebody off or something.
Well,
No, they only had 90 seconds, so they did what they could.
You know, I just from watching the last 2 weeks, there seems to have been a change in philosophy to less wrestling. Because it's 2 weeks in a row now that I've noticed. I mean, I was keeping track. We had 4 minutes of wrestling in the first 52 minutes of this show. 4 minutes and 52.
That's bad.
That's horrible. And all these stupid angles. Aren't the idea of doing angles and storylines to build to wanting to see matches?
No.
Isn't that the idea?
Stupid, no.
Jesus.
They're to do angles.
Well, I will say this. At least we always talk about how they're stuck in 1997. At least they moved up 5 years to 2002 with this new storyline with Foley and Jarrett.
Foley and Jarrett.
What was
2002?
So?
Ric Flair and Vince McMahon.
Oh, is that what this one is?
Well, see, the problem is the main event featured a tag team of Sting and Kevin Nash, which was right out of 99.
Man, when Sting and Nash came out, I just thought, it's 2008. What the fuck am I watching Sting and Kevin Nash main eventing a show for? This was ridiculous.
Joe looked even worse after
what?
After a year, they put these two guys in the ring together, and I don't know.
You know, I didn't even mention this once during the report, but the story about Samoa Joe is that he is now a TNA original who has been there since day one.
Yeah, 6 years.
Bullshit!
It's an outright lie.
I thought the announcement of Kurt Angle's announcement was bigger than what Foley said.
I already forgot what Kurt Angle's announcement was.
Well, just the main event Mafia?
Oh, that's right, yeah. The main event Mafia has been formed.
Heel turn, because he seemed a little bit more heelish there.
He was very arrogant and cocky as he cut his promo.
Yeah. You know,
Having Booker T in that stable, that makes it look like a joke, I think.
That's what I said!
It is a joke.
He's sitting on this couch, and they're talking to everybody, and all I hear is this, respect.
Yeah! And that was funny, right?
That was Vinny's favorite part of this stupid segment.
Yes.
And he sounds like he's sitting, it's like he's got Tourette syndrome or something. And he sounds like a 75-year-old woman that's been smoking for 50 years with that accent. And
Contreras, are you aware that on Monday when they tape the next Impact, there's yet another big announcement?
You have any idea what it's going to be?
I don't even care at this point.
I did, after the Foley announcement, I did check the internet, and wrestling history hadn't been changed at all.
Did you go on to Wikipedia?
If I go read Death of WCW, will the words have changed?
It might be.
Oh, Jesus. Well, Contreras, I want to thank you for the call, and obviously for all of the work you do on the website as well. It's some fine stuff, so thanks again for that. I got to thank you every time you call in for all that stuff. Indeed.
Well, I am a great man.
Yes, you are. That's your catchphrase as well.
I don't hear that and not agree.
I don't know. All right,
okay,
Contreras.
guys.
Thanks again, buddy.
Okay.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
We should market those t-shirts. I'm a great man, Contreras.
Who is this and where are you calling from?
Oh, this is Adam, and I'm in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Adam, what's going on?
Not much. Just wanted to give a quick call. I'm sure you guys have probably already talked about Impact at this point.
Not yet, actually.
No,
really? I was wondering if you had gotten to that yet.
I was joking. We talked about Impact for about 4 hours.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I saw the little the topic today. And
how much Impact sucked? Yes.
I'm gonna be the bad guy here, I guess, and say that most of the time I agree with you both when I hear your review of Impact. I have the same frustrations you have of the quick to the back stuff and the production stuff. The thing that I've always tried to go into when TNA is live and when they're pre-taped, I kind of have a different mindset. And to me, when they're live, I feel like I can breathe a little bit, even though the stuff is still a lot crazier than a WWE show. I still feel like I can breathe more. I'm not getting it as quickly as they do when they pre-tape. And tonight, I had that feeling again, and I get those feelings more when I watch pay-per-views. And when I watch a pay-per-view and then I flip on Impact that week, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, it's so different. And tonight, I felt like genuinely with the change of scenery, with the Vegas atmosphere, I know that the joint they were in, it was, I don't know if it seemed like everybody was standing on the ground unless there were seats. I didn't see seats, but it was lit to the point where when I'm used to seeing WEC shows there, even when UFC has run fight nights there, it seemed bigger for UFC. I don't know if it's because they darkened it more, but
I don't
know. It just, to me, it felt like a fun show. And most of the time, like I said, I agree with you guys, but I'm really going to have to disagree this time, and I don't feel bad doing so because most of the time, people are so hard on TNA, and it's
Bryan, hang up with this man.
But tonight, it just, if there's any complaint I would have about the show, it was the matches were incredibly too fast.
Well, you don't fucking say. Well, we actually mentioned, we talked about the joint, and I mean, I like the fact that they were somewhere different. I think they should go on the road, and the live aspect of it, and the fact that the fans were into it, those were all positives. Don't get me wrong, but we also noted the fact that I don't know if in fact if you thought otherwise, please explain. But that place seats 1,000 people, and when we watched that show, it didn't look like there were more than 250 people in the building.
Yeah, I mean, you could see people standing up top, but it seemed like when they had the hard camera shot and there was a point where people were walking around, there were people sitting in the hard camera section, but it didn't look, you're right, it looked like there was 200, 300 people on their tops, and they said they were going to sell that place out,
Sure. And our main issue with this show was not it had nothing to do with where it was at or the lighting or anything like that. The main issue was just the booking was terrible and the matches were horrible and there weren't any of them. And the gauntlet was fucking atrocious.
You think though, from a storyline standpoint, though, they did finally progress stuff that they've been teasing for way too long, and that finally, like the main event Mafia stuff, I'm like, okay, finally, they've been teasing this for so long that felt like a good payoff. The McFoley thing probably wasn't going to be, that was never going to live up to the hype that wrestling fans have for things.
Well, that's for sure.
Well, that was their own fault then. They shouldn't have booked it as such.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like this product gets buried consistently no matter where I go, and I respect
Why do you
both
think
of
that
your
might be? Do you think it's because people don't like you?
Calm down, Vinny. Go on.
No. And Vinny, I've been watching this. I'm not someone who just started watching TNA in 2005. I've been watching it since 2002.
You poor man.
So when Joe debuted?
No. I'm talking June 2002, Huntsville,
Right.
Alabama.
Well, they told us tonight that's when Samoa Joe debuted.
I know. That's funny. Isn't that funny? He debuted, and I was thinking about that. Styles grouped him in with Joe, and I'm like, did Joe come in 05?
Sure, yeah.
When Fox Sports Net was done, and
the new history of TNA now.
I'll let you guys talk about the show, but I hate to. I didn't want to say this, but I kind of feel comfortable saying the fact that sometimes this product, no matter what they do, it's going to get panned by every single person, and I don't want to. I feel like I'm on Fox News. I'm the only Democrat on the show when the people are yelling at each other and they're trying to defend their candidate or be a surrogate. I feel like I'm defending this company too much, and I just felt like tonight's show, I finally could breathe watching Impact, and every week it's always to the back and quick matches, but I guess my only complaint tonight was the matches were too short. I didn't like that, but otherwise it felt like a fun show, and this tonight, without a doubt, proved that show has to be on the road, and it has to be gone from the Impact Zone. The Impact Zone has officially killed that product to me.
Well, I would agree that they need to go on the road, and I was actually glad you called in because I was hoping that we would get some sort of dissenting opinion on this program here, although I still disagree with you.
Guys go. I've always wondered this.
What?
Jeff Jarrett has commented on this. He commented on 2 years ago, and someone asked him a question. They said, what is it going to take to get a weekly television show on the road? And it's taken them so long to get pay-per-view on the road, and even that has struggled. And do you think that because pay-per-view has struggled, that's still it's kind of like the same philosophy they had with house shows. They saw how bad WWE shows were drawing, so they said, we don't want to do that because we don't want to look stupid. But they were just, an hour away from my house 2 weeks ago, and they drew 600 fans. And it just, what's it going to take to get the television on the road? Because they still seem very reluctant even with pay-per-view.
Well, I think what they're going to do first is if they can get the pay-per-views on the road for every single show, then I think at that point, if that does okay, then they'll think about doing TV tapings on the road maybe once a month. But, yeah. I mean, right now they've got a lot of shows still planned for the Impact Zone, a lot of pay-per-views. So, I mean, if they're not confident enough to get pay-per-views out of the Impact Zone yet, then they're certainly not going to take TV on road regularly.
If they can't do 12 shows on the road per year, I'm sure they can't do 52.
Yeah, well, they would be taping every week anyway. They tape, 2 or 3 shows on the road, per taping. But still, I think they're going to have to. They'll want to do pay-per-view regularly before they start worrying about TV.
Okay, well, I'll let you guys get to the review of the show. I know Vinny's going to bury me as soon as I hang up, so that's fine. If I have to be the asshole who calls in who liked the show, then I'll take that tonight. So.
I've actually buried you before you called, in fact, but I will say is it's okay to have different opinions.
No. The
fact that you called in indicates you're a fan.
I would say 90% of the time when you guys talk TNA, I agree, but tonight I really had fun watching the show for a change, and I can't say that very often about Impact, so...
All right. Well, thanks very much for the call, and I'll let Vinny finish his little rant here because he's foaming at the mouth.
I just got run over by a caller.
I just got to keep talking, Vinny.
Anyway,
pussy. Go ahead.
Well, I will now say this to him. You have just listened to what I have said because we talked about Impact for, like I said, 4 hours. We don't need to talk about it anymore. So, caller. Now that we've hung up on you, now that you have listened to us, I want you to go back and listen to the Impact rant again, because I explained in great detail why that show sucked. And I'm sure once you listen to me, you'll realize I am right.
That was an awesome call. Let's go to the phones. You are on the air. Who is this, and where are you calling from?
Hi.
How you doing?
My name is Rick. I'm calling from Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho. I used to go to Boise all the time, in fact. Actually, Blackfoot. How close are you to Blackfoot?
I'm not sure. I've never heard of it.
Oh.
It's in Idaho, apparently.
It's a small town. What's going on?
Nothing. I was wondering when Rick Steiner might return to wrestling.
Yeah, I had a hunch. That's where this might be going. Bryan, the floor is yours.
Rick Steiner may not be returning to wrestling anytime soon. He's doing very well in his real estate job, in fact. So I wouldn't expect to see him back on TV anytime soon.
But why wouldn't he want to wrestle?
Well, he's making good money. Well, the problem may not be that he doesn't want to wrestle. It's that Rick Steiner is getting very old, and I don't think that anybody necessarily needs to hire Rick Steiner unless he's doing something with his brother, who is currently out with an injury. So,
doesn't he still have a passion for the biz?
I don't know if he's got that much of a passion anymore, I'm afraid.
That's a shame.
It really is, you know?
Well, thank you.
No problem. Thanks very much for the call.
That ruled. That was a moment of greatness.
Well, who is this and where are you calling from?
Man, it's Freewell, man. What's going on?
Jesus, Freewell. What are you doing up this late, dude?
I'm bored, man.
You could sleep?
Well, see, what happened was, I had class at 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
And I woke up and it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so guess I wasn't going to class today. So.
Oh, Spreewell, gonna fail your way out of college. Hello?
Dude? I don't know what happened there, or why I found it so amusing.
I don't know if he was gravely offended by the statement that he was going to fail his way out of college, or if his phone just happened to die right there.
That's a great moment. Just 47 seconds of dead air.
He was so bored.
This is Lance Storm's favorite caller.
It's Cotrere, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
What did you think of Impact tonight?
I actually thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was better than usual, wasn't it?
A lot more wrestling than last week.
There were,
true.
in fact,
that is true.
I've got the stats right here. Last week there were 23 minutes of wrestling, and this week we got 30.
That's like a 20% improvement.
There's 7 minutes of extra wrestling this week, Cotrere.
I thought the main event was pretty good.
Let's see, what was the main event? Oh, Angle and...
No, you're wrong.
I wasn't blown away by that one, I'm sorry.
And it had a very dumb
there's
finish.
No reason Kurt shouldn't have won that match.
Who?
Kurt should have won that match.
He should have won that match. They should have put some heat on the heels on this show here tonight.
Because they lost in one match before, and then the other guy couldn't even beat Abyss. It gets beat by everyone.
Wise words, Cotrere.
It was doubly retarded, the fact that they had crowd brawling and ramp brawling and all of this hardcore stuff, and then the finish was a DQ for a chair shot. That was the biggest load of bullshit I've ever seen.
Could you tell just by the stuff with Sting, he's not long for this group, I don't think.
I don't know.
I keep thinking that's the way they're trying to lead us into it, because even the very first skit they did, he walked in the suit and said, "Yep, I'm with these guys." They said, "Have a drink," and he said, "Nah," and disappeared.
They seem determined to make this man a heel. Like I can tell you that they have a 1 year long storyline with Sting that involves him being a heel the whole time. Now, of course, he has failed over and over in his role as a heel, so perhaps they're just deciding to go with it, which I recommended a long fucking time ago. But yeah, they may have changed their minds and he'll be a babyface from this point forward.
Having him help AJ up and then AJ spit on him doesn't help things.
No, that was the main event. I thought they did a good job throughout the show. You know, pretty much showing who was on whose side and who was the heels and who was the babyfaces. But there were moments during that main event where I was like, who the fuck is the babyface here?
And are the Motor City Machine Guns going to turn on Samoa Joe? It looks like it.
Probably.
They may. That seems to be where they're heading here. And they've been heelish for a long time now, so maybe this has actually been a plan.
Because there's one thing they needed to do with Samoa Joe is to make him look dumb.
Yeah. He's got trust issues. He's going to get fucked again.
Yeah.
Now, before we let you go, do you have any words for Lance Storm today, who is your biggest fan?
Thanks.
Thank you very much for the call, Cotrere. Don't take it personally that we're axing you here, but we've got a new 2-minute limit on this program, and you couldn't top thanks anyway. So that was the conclusion there, and a perfect conclusion at that. Who's this and where are you calling from?
This is John. I'm calling from St. Louis.
John, what's going on?
I'm just got out of the shower and was washing my beard and thinking, how's Brian's beard coming? Since I've been growing my beard out in tribute to Evan Tanner as well.
Well, let's ask Vinny. How's my beard looking?
It still looks fine. I don't think you need to be washing that anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm doing my best. I think it's about, what did you say, about 3/4 of an inch long?
Somewhere around there.
It's about 3/4 of an inch long, and I've been growing it for about, a month and I'd say about 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. So, I may be lucky if I get 1.5 inches out of it by the time 2009 rolls around, but I'm doing my best.
Yeah, I thought I'd stick around and stick with the plan and do the same thing, and then I've got about 1.25 inches or so, and starting to look a little bit like Santa Claus if I brush it out a little bit. So.
Well, now you have a job for the winter.
It's starting to get a little weird.
That makes me very jealous that you've already got 1.5 inches, and I'm still here at 3/4.
What can I say? I can grow a beard.
We need to make a special. I think there is actually a thread in the MMA section where everybody's posting pictures of their Evan Tanner beard. So I just happened to get my camera back. So in the next couple of days, we're going to have some photos posted of my attempts so far at a beard. Are you going to join in, or do you just stay off the board?
I'll have to find a camera. I've only done a couple board postings, like I did that parody banner for you guys' first Vegas trip with Ed and the cone and whatnot.
That was a great photo.
Yes, it was.
And then, but most of the time I don't really post that much on there. I've sent you a couple PMs and stuff, but.
Yeah, well, we'll have to put something in that thread, and that could be your big return to the board.
There we go. I'll have to find me a camera.
That's right. Well, there's a good reason for it.
Yeah, so I've been trying to keep the beard going. I had to trim the mustache a little bit because, when you're eating your food and then facial hair gets into your mouth and you get stuff all over you, it's a little bit of a hassle.
I have noticed that I'm going to need to start trimming some of my mustache. I've already kind of done it once because it was starting to go into my mouth. And that was unacceptable.
No bias.
No, so
yeah, totally unacceptable.
I've had that happen.
That's pretty much the only thing I'm trimming, though. So I'm just going, I'm just all natural.
Same here.
That's right.
I find taking like a hairbrush or something to it and fluffing it out makes you feel a little bit better. But
I've got to fluff it out a little bit because right now it's laying awfully close to my chin. So
yeah.
All right, well, I want to thank you very much for the call today. I very much appreciate it.
I bet he had a wrestling question to talk about.
Well, he was talking so much about the beard that we had to let it go right there, so.
To the back!
Shut your ass!
I want everybody on the board to shut up.
Mike Hadley.
Message received at 12:15 p.m.
Hello?
End of message.
That's how it happened, living life by the drop. Living down that road and I worn-out shoes. Talking about good times and singing the blues. You went your way and I stayed behind. Living a dream so you won't stop.
Can you hear me?
The mind is aching, Lord, it won't stop.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
That's how it happens, living life by the drop.
Listen, I'd like an 8-ball, and just meet me at the hotel.
Oh, I love you, man. I love you. Yeah, motherfucker, man.
The mind's are aching.
Done, Josh.
Fuckers!